The war on Tigray, like all communities everywhere, has severely affected the living condition of Eritrean refugees who had come to Tigray with the hope of starting a new life. For decades, Eritreans forced into indefinite national services and living under threat of torture, imprisonment, and little access to education and healthcare have left their homes in search of security, and many had chosen Tigray as their place of refuge. Abraham Tame is an Eritrean refugee now sheltered in El Shaddai, a local charity organization in Mekelle. He says he left home in 2018 when, after 20 years of closing, borders opened between Ethiopia and Eritrea. He says he left because, after 20 years of national services, he realized that there would be no end.
I was trained as a soldier in 1997. That was the 7th round of training by the government for national service. We had initially been told that we were going to serve for a year and a half, but I spent 20 years of my life in the military. That's when I decided to leave my country, but I had already wasted more than 20 years of my youth.
Abraham says living conditions in Eritrea were difficult. Those in national services were rarely allowed to rest or see family members, and when they were, they would find family members in horrid living condition and unable to care for themselves.
It's hard to call what we were doing living, really. In 2 years, we were allowed to visit our family members only once and just for a month. And when we returned home, we find our family members living in such hard conditions. And if we tried to stay behind for a month to support our children, they would arrest us and take us back.
Abraham says that after he came to Tigray, he would make as much in a day as he did in a month in Eritrea, and could work and live as he liked, a privilege in Eritrea.
I used to make 500 to 550 a month. I wouldn't be able to do anything with this amount of money. But after I came to Tigray, I started to make 500 a day working in construction. I ate whatever I wanted. I rented a house and started to live a normal life. I always regret the 20 years of my youth I wasted in the military.
Access his savings, so he has been forced to seek shelter at this local charity organization.
When I first came to Tigray, there were people that could employ me. I could work and earn money, but now everyone is in the same condition because of the siege. It's been 2 years since things started to get bad in Tigray, but if it weren't for the siege, I would have had a better life.
The only thing more difficult than losing one home one imagines is losing two. Abraham is one of the tens of thousands of Eritreans who, after escaping horrid living conditions in Eritrea, have been forced to live through war and an inhuman siege with catastrophic humanitarian consequences, a disaster with no end in sight.